The security alarm screamed through Sector 7's crystalline corridors, but Nyla's fingers never wavered as they danced across the holographic interface. Red warning symbols pulsed around her like angry fireflies, but she'd already bypassed the facility's primary neural network. The Wolftrap Grid Genesis Corporation's most sophisticated containment system was about to go dark. 30 seconds, she whispered into her comm, though she knew Brian couldn't respond. He was 3 floors below, keeping the patrol drones occupied with false heat signatures and phantom movement in the East Wing. The grid hummed with lethal energy, a lattice of gravitational fields designed to immobilize anything with a central nervous system. Nyla had seen what it did to unauthorized personnel bodies twisted into impossible angles, suspended in agony until security arrived. But tonight, it was holding something far more innocent. 20 seconds. Through the reinforced glass, she could see them. 3 Lyran cubs, no more than 6 months old by her estimation. Their small bodies suspended upside down in the invisible web of force. Their silver fur was matted with blood, where the restraints had cut into their ankles. They'd been hanging there for hours ever since the Genesis collectors had ripped them from their den on Lyra 4. Nyla's jaw tightened. The cubs were supposed to be a myth, declared extinct after the mining companies had scorched their homeworld 15 years ago. But Genesis had found a breeding population, and now they wanted to weaponize the species' unique regenerative capabilities. 10 seconds. Her neural implant burned hot against her skull as she processed the final encryption layers. The Wolftrap grid was designed by Dr. Kaveh Masood himself, the man who'd pioneered gravitational manipulation. Breaking it should have been impossible, but Nyla had studied under Masood. She knew his patterns, his arrogance, the way he always left a back door in case he needed to make emergency adjustments. She'd spent 3 months tracking his digital fingerprints through Genesis's systems. 5 seconds. "Brian, I'm going in," she transmitted. "Copy that. You've got maybe 4 minutes before they realize the East Wing breach is a decoy." His voice was steady, professional, but she could hear the tension underneath. They'd both lost too much to Genesis Corporation already. 3 seconds. The holographic display flashed green. Nyla's breath caught in her throat. The Wolftrap grid collapsed. The cubs fell like stones, but their bodies twisted mid-air with feline grace, landing on their feet despite their injuries. They immediately scrambled toward the corners of the containment chamber, terrified and disoriented. Nyla pressed her palm against the door's biometric scanner. It rejected her handprint 3 times before her override virus forced it open. The reinforced door hissed aside, releasing a wave of cold air that stank of antiseptic and fear. "Easy," she murmured, stepping into the chamber with her hands raised. "Easy, little ones." The largest cub, a female with distinctive gold markings on her ears, bared needle-sharp teeth and hissed. Her siblings huddled behind her, their luminescent eyes wide with terror. Nyla knelt slowly, pulling a compressed protein capsule from her belt. She'd synthesized it based on dietary records salvaged from Lyran archaeological sites. She crushed it in her palm, releasing a scent like honey and copper. The cubs' noses twitched. The female took a tentative step forward. "That's right," Nyla said softly. "I'm not like them. I'm here to take you home. 2 minutes." Brian's voice crackled in her ear. "Security's mobilizing. Whatever you're doing, do it faster." The female cub approached, sniffed Nyla's hand, then began to lap up the protein mixture. Her siblings followed, their hunger overcoming their fear. While they ate, Nyla gently examined their injuries. The restraint wounds were deep but not life-threatening. Their regenerative systems were already working, flesh knitting together at a visible rate. She opened the reinforced carrier she'd brought, lined with thermal blankets and equipped with its own oxygen supply. "In you go," she said, guiding the cubs inside. They resisted at first, but hunger and exhaustion won out. Within moments, all 3 were curled together in the carrier. Nyla sealed it and stood, slinging the carrier over her shoulder. It was lighter than she'd expected. The cubs weighed almost nothing despite their size, hollow bones, like birds, an evolutionary adaptation for their homeworld's low gravity. "Package secured," she transmitted, heading to extraction point. "About time," Brian replied. North corridor is clear for the next 90 seconds. After that, you're on your own. Nyla ran. The corridor blurred past her, white walls and security cameras that had been feeding false data for the past hour. Her augmented legs carried her faster than any unmodified human could move, but she could hear the thunder of boots behind her. Genesis security was closing in. She burst through the emergency exit onto the landing platform. Rain lashed her face as she sprinted toward the extraction craft, a sleek, black interceptor with its engines already hot. Brian was in the pilot's seat, his hands flying across the controls. "Get in." Nyla dove into the co-pilot's chair, securing the carrier between them. The cubs mewled softly, frightened by the engine noise. "Hold on," Brian said grimly. The interceptor shot into the sky just as the first security drones emerged from the facility. Plasma fire lit up the night, but Brian's piloting was flawless. He wove through the drone formations like a needle through cloth, ascending through the storm clouds toward the waiting jump gate. Did we really just steal 3 extinct aliens from the most powerful corporation in the sector? Brian asked, allowing himself a tight smile. Nyla looked down at the carrier, where 3 pairs of luminescent eyes stared back at her with something that might have been trust. "We didn't steal them," she said quietly. "We freed them." The jump gate swallowed them whole, carrying them toward the uncharted regions where the last free Lyran colony waited a place Genesis would never find. Behind them, the Wolftrap grid remained dark and silent, its designer left wondering how anyone could have broken the unbreakable.